Hello, and thank you for visiting my presentation on sharing economy strategies and their ability to enable remote manufacturing through information technologies. My name is Chris Wilmoth. I'm a manufacturing engineer and I study engineering part-time at Bournemouth. My argument. I argue that within the next 50 years that the introduction of sharing economy strategies, the abundance of IT and self-replicating tooling will lead to a local global supply chain operating within peer-to-peer networks that connect bedrooms, sheds and community fabrication labs together, allowing engineers to work remotely whilst exponentially increasing talent and innovation, leading to an evolution similar to the Renaissance or Enlightenment. Sharing economy. I found through my research that Uber and Airbnb are in fact pseudo-sharing companies, which means that they do not truly share. This is because they obscure and secure scarcity, which they do by hiding the abundance within their systems by isolating their operators and customers. This allows them to increase profit. These companies often rely on platforms which traditionally have required high capital to start because they do not share their intellectual property. This has reduced the number of smaller enterprises that have been able to enter the sharing economy. The sharing economy, however, is based on the principle of abundance. For instance, the average car in North America and Western Europe is in use 8% of the time, and the average electric drill is used 6 to 13 minutes over its lifetime. This material and space is thus wasted, where it otherwise could be shared and made abundant so that everyone can have access to these commodities. For instance, when visiting a supermarket, you are not expected to own and bring your own shopping trolley. There are enough shopping trolleys in circulation for everyone to use, whilst reducing the amount of wasted space and wasted materials. The sharing economy also benefits from network effects, where the more people that join a network increases the total capacity available to everyone on that network. Cities are integral to the sharing economy, as they often have the most infrastructure to share. However, if cities regulate the sharing economy too much, it is seen that intelligent citizens are more likely to leave in search of greener pastures. Involved technologies. In recent years, we have seen an abundance in computers, which has enabled crowdsourced computing, which allows a network of low-cost, low-end computers to outperform high-end one-off computers. This has meant that blockchain technologies have been able to be created, which create a decentralized distributed ledger which no one has control over. This in turn has cut out the middlemen, often found in banking and other industries, which reduces the transactional costs. This reduces the roadblocks found for many small enterprises in order to join the sharing economy, and has increased transparency, traceability, and democracy on these platforms where it otherwise didn't exist. The sharing economy can also benefit from machine learning, otherwise known as artificial intelligence, and can benefit from Internet of Things. Capacity and supply chains. Crowdsourced logistics has become more prevalent in recent times, whereby persons who operate a variety of vehicles offer out their capacity to other businesses. This reduces costs and increases utilization of vehicles where otherwise businesses would operate their own fleet of vehicles. This in turn increases the agility within the entire supply chain. For instance, travel time is reduced on average by 11% within the network. Crowdsourced logistics also creates resilient, diverse supply chains through increased experimentation, which in turn improves the infrastructure within a city, which is often attributed to the network effects that crowdsourced logistics offer. Companies who share information within their supply chain have been seen to increase profitability by up to 44%. Decentralized manufacture. This type of manufacture benefits from an abundance and affordable tooling, such as 3D printers, which are nearing the ability to self-replicate themselves. It also benefits from the Internet of Things, which allows engineers to work remotely from machines regardless of distance. Overheads and startup costs can also be reduced by combining these multiple agents into consortiums who can now compete with larger enterprises. These consortiums benefit from network effects, such as reduced cycle time and reduced minimum order quantity. This creates agile manufacturing, which allows these consortiums to benefit from higher levels of customization whilst retaining reduced costs. This increases the resilience within cities and improves the environment within these cities by reducing the amount of long-haul transport and keeping resources local. Commons manufacture. Through the introduction of sharing economy strategies, it is becoming conceivable to create community sets of tooling, such as tool libraries and repair cafes. This means that I no longer need to own my own electric drill, which is left idle in my garage for the most of the time. Instead, when I need one, I can come and borrow one. Or provided I am able, I can bring my broken object to one of these spaces and get help on how to repair it. This shares the cost. Rather than me owning my own full set of tooling, I can pay less and help contribute to the community set, ensuring there are always enough tools in circulation so that everyone has access. These spaces also centralize talent. Instead of hobbyists being locked away in their own garages working on their own projects, they can now come together and work on bigger and better projects. These spaces will also increase innovation within communities. For instance, the inventor of the point-of-sale device that connects to a phone was only able to do so because there was a local makerspace with the talent and the tooling that enabled him to do it. This has the ability to revitalize dead towns, such as old mining, tourist and fishing towns, which otherwise do not have any STEM activities. And most importantly, it can educate people of any age, young or old, ensuring that people always have something they can fall back on as a career. Evolution. Through the introduction of sharing economy strategies, it could enable engineers to reduce their working week, as the infrastructure necessary to support society can be reduced through shared abundance. Alternatively, engineering can be performed on demand, as and when needed. The sharing economy also enables greater risk-taking due to the reduced need for personal capital in order to enter the market. Both of these factors enable greater innovation within communities by giving engineers more time to work on the projects that matter to them, which in turn increases quality and productivity, and through the reduced cost of materials and tooling to turn ideas into reality. Also, through open sourcing, man can create the best computer, building or car that science can build, where we currently can't due to intellectual property being owned by multiple competitors. This could exponentially increase innovation, whilst exponentially reducing the duplication of work, leading to the next Renaissance or Enlightenment. Where in the past capitalism was governed by security capital or the number of swords, once security became abundant, our economic system evolved to using property capital. But through the sharing economy, it is possible to make property and material abundant. So we may soon evolve within the next few decades and adopt a new form of capital. In summary, I argue that within the next 50 years that the introduction of sharing economy strategies, the abundance of IT and self-replicating tooling will lead to a local global supply chain operating within peer-to-peer networks that connect bedrooms, sheds and community fabrication labs together allowing engineers to work remotely whilst exponentially increasing talent and innovation, leading to an evolution similar to the Renaissance or Enlightenment. Should you wish to ask me any questions, feel free to email me on the below address.